Greetings and welcome to another podcast on Deliverance, Rooted in Wellness. I'm Anthony Medley, the Health Ministries Director for the Allegheny East Conference, and I thank you for joining us today as we continue to look at ways to be delivered. You know, God expects and has called us all for deliverance, and if we look at our lives, there are many areas that individually we have to be delivered from. So this Deliverance Podcast is intended to help you to live a well and holistic life. And we've used deliverance as an acronym where we look at each letter, we unpack those letters, each letters, and we show how God will deliver us if we just follow the principles and teachings of each one of the letters in deliverance. Today, we're looking at the letter E. The letter E in deliverance stands for emotion. And I'm honored today to have as our guest subject matter expert, Pastor Keenan Pastor Keenan Tyler. I don't know why I keep calling you that, man. Pastor Keenan Tyler he's a pastor. He's a licensed mental health therapist for the Commonwealth of Virginia. And he is someone who is passionate about wellness, emotional and mental wellness for all people. Thank you for being with us today, Pastor. It's an honor to have you on this podcast, and I look forward to our discussion today. Tell us a little bit more about yourself before we get into our program today.
I was going to say thank you, Doc. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be here. Well, about myself, I mean, what exactly do you want to know? How far you want to go back?
Well, yeah, I want to be careful. I want to go back. Tell me about how you served the country. What did you do for the country outside of ministry?
Okay, so I was in the Navy. I was in the Navy for 8 years, 9 months, and 17 days. I used to have the minutes and the seconds down packed, but wow. I got the years, the months, and the days. So I was an electrician in the Navy. I did a little security. But yeah, so that's what I did.
Cool. Where you from? Where
I'm originally from New York City, Brooklyn, New York to be exact.
Okay. So you're from Brooklyn, New York, not New York City. There is a difference between New York City and
Brooklyn. Semantics, but I'm from Brooklyn, New York, yeah.
Okay.
I claim all of New York.
You claim it all.
I know that's where you're from as well.
Of course.
I claim all of New York, and I know you know martial arts, so I claim all of New York.
Okay. How's life been in Virginia for you?
Oh, it's great. For the pastors, if there's any pastors that's watching this, it's horrible. Don't ever come down there. But no. It's great. It's great. I'm 15 minutes away from the beach. It's great. Virginia's great.
Wow, 10, 15 minutes away from the beach. Yeah.
Indeed.
Your family? Yeah. Are you a family man?
Absolutely. I'm married, have 3 kids. My oldest is 25. My youngest is 18. So yeah.
Great. And you're a licensed therapist. In addition to pastoring, you're also a therapist.
Yes.
That's an interesting blend. Why therapy?
Well, when I was an assistant pastor in Newport News, downtown Newport News, you meet people from all walks of life. And I mean, I felt like I was not equipped to deal with a lot of the life issues, from the challenges of the people that I was facing.
Sure.
So I had the GI Bill, and I was wondering what can I do to help me with ministry? And the Lord just said, go into mental health therapy, get a degree in counseling. So that's how I got there.
Well, we really appreciate what you're doing in the Commonwealth of Virginia, down there by the beach. Yeah. And, we learned a lot of things. COVID kind of put on blast issues that are already there. COVID didn't create them, but it exposed so many of them. And in our communities, the underserved communities, we really saw some devastating effects of COVID and also the emotional and mental trauma that people were going through. So today we want to just take a few moments just to talk about the whole issue of the emotional trauma of people that are what they're going through and how it impacts mental wellness, some of the stigmas with it, and how do we help people to get delivered who struggle emotionally with things. First, you may want to define what emotional wellness is, or the same or the difference between that and mental wellness. So I'm just lobbing that to you and let you take it.
Right. So during COVID, Like you said, a lot of things that people were already dealing with, it was just magnified, brought to the surface. And as a therapist, so I do, a few days a week,
Sure.
the numbers just went up.
Wow.
It went through the roof, especially the children. So because the kids, their brain's not fully developed and they need that human interaction. So by them not having that, just a kid with ADHD, it just gets worse. I mean, suicidal ideation, that went through the roof.
Wow.
On and on and on. The numbers just went. But when schools begin to open and they begin to interact with one another, the numbers went down for a little bit, but then they bumped back up again. And I'm not sure if it's, no one's sure, is it a result of them having that, missing out on some years of development because of COVID?
Sure.
And so now they're interacting with other kids, and now things have came back. So the studies are still, it's still new. They don't know why that is, but the numbers are going.
They're going back up.
Going back up. Yeah.
So emotions. When I think about emotions, I think about feelings.
Yeah.
And sometimes feelings are transient. Depends upon the weather or so forth. And
Right.
How do you address individuals who are moody? We talk about moody people and feelings. So
Right.
what is that?
Right. Well, feelings are real, but they're not fact.
Okay. Well, you got to unpack that.
Yeah. So you can feel as if you'll never have. Let's say you failed a test or you got fired from a job. So you may feel like this is the end.
Yeah.
There's no light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
But that's not a fact. You get another job. Things could change. So your feelings can say, "Oh, I failed the test. I'm the dumbest kid in the world. I'm never going to be anything." Those are your feelings because of what you just been through, but that's not a fact.
Wow.
You just failed the test. You messed up on that test. So always try to tell people to keep that in mind. Your feelings are real, need to be validated, but they're not facts.
See, you just dropped the big bomb here of some really good information, because I know people, not just adolescents and children, but even older people, who are driven by their feelings.
Yeah.
But you're saying that feelings are not facts.
Right, but they're real.
But they're real.
Absolutely.
So I can own my feelings, but would you say that my feelings then should not dictate what happens next, or do I need facts to happen before my feelings change?
Well, I mean, we're human beings, right?
Okay.
So we're not robots to say, I'm just going to compartmentalize my feelings. No,
Wow.
those feelings are real.
Feelings are real.
Those are legit. And you may be led to do something because of your feelings, but you just have to keep it in mind, because, your feelings can have you do something negative. So you just got to make sure you're not doing anything negative. But the gospel, Jesus died for us. That should do something to you. That should compel you to want to do something. That's the feelings.
Yeah.
So I guess, say the question one more time. I want to make sure I mention.
Okay, yeah, you're on point,
Okay.
because we're dealing with the whole issue of feelings and facts. Should I be driven by my feelings until facts catch up, or
Yeah,
what?
see, that's such a. It's not a it's not a yes or no.
Thank you. Yeah.
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 It's not
Yeah.
a yes or no.
Yeah. So there's a journey,
Yeah, absolutely.
and we have to give time and flexibility,
Absolutely.
not to be locked into. I hear the therapist in you when you responded to
Yeah.
that. So answer this for me, because this is good, because you're talking a lot about adolescence. You said some critical things there that I hope we circle back to, especially feelings and suicide, thoughts and those type of things. How does one's emotion, how is it impacted by mental health? I think about, are they one of the same? Are they different? Does one impact the other? Mental wellness, emotions, those kind of things. I could be interchanging things. I'm not the therapist.
Right. I mean, it can, so if you're feeling bad for a certain amount of days, for so long, then eventually that can change the way you think, and eventually lead to poor mental health.
Wow.
So the two are connected. I mean, they can be used interchangeably, but your emotions, what you're feeling right now, if you feel it for a long time, then it could lead to having a diagnosis, being diagnosed with something.
Okay, so if I am diagnosed, if I realize that mental illness is a disease and a sickness,
Right.
just like breaking my leg,
Absolutely.
anything else, removing the stigma from those things. So if there is a diagnosed, prognosis on me, whatever the case may be, of mental illness, do I need to be even more careful about my emotions being triggered because of that? Are there triggers that we have to be concerned about?
Right, that's good. So if you have a diagnosis, normally you sat with a therapist, you sat with someone to give you that diagnosis, and you already went over your triggers.
Okay.
So you know what, okay, I can't do this because it's going to trigger something. So that's something that normally you cover.
Okay. So, but outside of that, there are triggers that, all of us have. What about the person who really doesn't know their triggers, but their things are always trigger them? Others see it, but you don't see it yourself.
Yeah, that person needs to talk to a therapist,
Gotcha.
But so if they don't have self-awareness, that's like one of the first things of emotional intelligence is having self-awareness. Emotional intelligence, self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy. What else is there? It's some others, but that self-awareness piece is key.
Wow.
You got to have self-awareness.
Oh, that's important because, while you're saying that, I was thinking about, there are individuals feel like, say if they have issues, they need to see a therapist. Well, I don't need to talk to nobody. There's this stigma that resonates in the African American community, especially.
Definitely.
That I don't need help.
Right.
I don't need to see anybody. But lifestyle choices, emotions bring about triggers and so on. How do you talk to that stubborn person
Right.
who is clear that their triggers are mess up their relationships, their relationship with their
Right.
significant others, with their
Right.
children, in the workplace and everything else and so forth. But their position is, I don't need help.
Yeah.
What talk to that person for me.
Yeah, well, what camera here? Wait, which one?
Yeah, let's talk to
So I would say that everybody can benefit from therapy. Everyone. It's a blessing. Like if you break your leg, you want to go see a doctor, get your, somebody get your, fix your leg, put you in a cast. Same thing. Sometimes we have some thoughts that are kind of distorted. We may feel some way. We may be processing something the wrong way. And it's good to have somebody to bounce ideas off of that's non-judgmental, don't know you, that you can just share everything, share your heart with, and they will help you process. Because the way our brain works is like all these thoughts like going in a line, and sometimes like there's a gap, and somebody will help you like put those thoughts together to make sense. So therapy is a wonderful thing. And let me just say my experience in going to therapy.
Yes.
So when I was in school, it's mandatory that you have to take a few hours for yourself. Because how can you tell somebody to go to therapy if you've never been to therapy?
Right.
So I was that person.
Gotcha.
I don't need to go to therapy. I'm good. That's what I'm thinking. And so I waited to the last minute to schedule my appointments to go to therapy. And looking on the chart, as most people do, I want to find somebody who looks like me.
Right.
All right, let me find somebody that's black, maybe a black male, somebody I could connect with. But I waited too late. So the only person they had was an older white lady.
Wow.
So in my mind, this is going to be a waste of my time. I'm just going to go in there. Nothing's going to happen. So I sit down in the office with her, and I tell her, I said, I'm just doing this for school. I'm really just doing this for school. I got to be here. And she said, okay, all right, fine, no problem. So this is what she asked me. She said, what classes do you like, and for mental health, what classes? And I told her classes I like. Then she said, what classes don't you like? And I told her what classes I don't like. She said, why don't you like those classes? And just from those 3 questions, she opened me up, and I told her my whole entire life. And then she's like, okay, time is up. And I said, what? Time is up? I said, I got to get back here next week. And what I realized is that, yes, a lot of people with therapy, oh, I want somebody that look like me, somebody I can relate to. But let me tell you this. If someone knows the skills, they know the skills, I don't care what they look like, they can help you out.
Wow.
You know, and it was a blessing for me. I'm so glad that I did that.
Well, thank you for sharing your personal story.
Yeah.
It leads to a few other questions.
All right,
That's
sure.
what I really appreciate. I really do. So, I think you also hit on a very strong vulnerability. Individuals who don't want their souls to be opened up because of guilt, because of shame. They don't want anybody to know their secrets.
Right.
So even though it triggers all their emotional outcomes and so forth, or they try to spiritualize it. I don't need to talk to anybody. I'll just talk to God about it.
Right.
Not minimizing God. But I think what you just spoke on about what it did for you, your struggle and opening up there. How do we create safe environment? What's a safe way for that person right now who's listening to you right now?
Right.
That person is saying, I got out of this thing bottled up in me, but I don't want to open it up because I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen to me or the persons who did it to me or what I experienced, so forth.
Right.
Okay, I need you to talk to the camera. I need you to talk to that person again.
So if you hold that stuff in, just like a soda bottle, right? You shake it up, it's going to explode. If you hold all those emotions in, all that pain, normally, especially with men, you suppress, especially with men, suppress those issues, suppress them, put it way deep down, far down, and then eventually something may happen to trigger it, and it all just comes out. And most times in unhealthy ways.
Yeah.
So I really would highly suggest just go talk to somebody, just try it. If that therapist you don't like, go to another therapist. Most black people, most people of color, they go 1 or 2 times and then they give up on therapy.
Wow.
Because they don't want to put the work in.
Yeah.
So they just give. So normally if I have a client of color, in my mind, I know that they already come in defensive.
Sure.
So I got to do all the work I can in those first 2 meetings because they may not come back.
Wow, that's important, because we're really serious about deliverance, rooted in wellness.
Yeah.
And we want folk to be delivered and made whole.
Yeah.
And we absolutely know that, until we resolve issues of our emotions and mental health issues, there is not going to be any deliverance at all. So this is just so critically important. Of course you can. Yes, jump right in.
I want to say, so a lot of times, it's what's underneath the surface, right? Like the iceberg.
Yeah.
All those emotions, all that stuff, even anger. Like anger is a secondary emotion, right? When someone is angry, it's normally something else, like they're hurt. So that somebody hurt them, so now it comes out in anger.
Wow.
Right? So whenever, just keep in mind, anger is a secondary emotion. Right?
Okay, you just dropped another bomb there, but go ahead. That's a good bomb.
Right. So it's something underneath. And then like with anger, you always got to get to the bottom of it. Why are you really angry?
Okay.
And it's normally some unresolved issue from the past, something along those lines. But those are the real issues. So when someone just people, whether it's my wife, my children, or something like that, we all act a certain way. But it's really because of what's really beneath the surface.
So you said anger is a
secondary emotion.
Secondary emotion.
Absolutely.
So when that person is blown off at their children, blown off at their spouse, blown off on the workplace, and so forth, that's not the primary issue.
Not at all.
There's something way
deeper.
Yeah. So in the worship community, when folk come in the house of worship and they're going off, they're projecting on the pastor or others' issues. It's really not. That's not the issue you're telling us.
Yeah. And then they just looking for somebody to take it out on.
Wow.
And so sometimes that person, they take it personally, but it really had nothing to do with them at all. It's some unresolved need that they have.
Wow.
You know, and they can't even articulate what that is sometimes.
So in order to have true deliverance, you got to really deal with those underlying issues you're telling us.
Yeah.
Those post-traumatic
Yep.
Issues, the things that are deep
All that.
inside. All those things
All
have
that.
to be dealt with.
Can I say something else
Of
too?
course you can.
So human beings, we connect through emotions.
Okay.
So when you're talking to somebody or asking them a question, when you're listening to somebody, I always tell people, listen for emotion words of emotion, because that's how we connect. That's just how human beings connect. And if most guys don't use feeling words, it's feeling words, that's the word, that's proper. Right? Most guys, they don't use feeling words.
Feeling words.
Let me give an example. So
Yes.
if somebody asks me, hey, how you doing today? Man, I gotta pick my kids up. I gotta do this. I gotta do that, man. Man, like I didn't use a
Yes.
feeling word.
Right.
Right. But no, how do you feel?
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
That's how I'm really overwhelmed. But guys are not. We're not wired to use feeling words.
Feeling words.
But if you could get people to use feeling words, just when you talk to them, you could connect with them better. Oh, I hear this. Oh, this is what you're going through.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That is excellent. You know, you're helping so many people who struggle with deliverance, especially through emotion and mental wellness issues and so forth. So, you know, we want folk to be delivered. We honestly do, and so forth. Just lastly, on this point here, where does God fit into the emotional mental health deliverance concept? Where is there a place for God?
God is all in it. He's all in. I mean, just read the Psalms of David.
Wow.
You know, he expressed so many emotions. I mean, Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, you see his angst, you see what he's going through. So we're human beings and God knows it. So God is all in the emotions.
He's all in it. He's
all in the emotions.
So in just let's preparing to close here.
Okay.
You got one opportunity again to talk to this person who is, obviously manifesting signs that he needs intervention.
Right.
Okay, the emotional breakdown has taken place there, and you only have 10 seconds to say something to this person. This is your last shot.
Right. So I would definitely say this. This is what I'm gonna say. Try therapy. Of course, yes, pray, fast, get in a community of believers, rub shoulders with other people who can help you out, but go see a therapist. It's okay if you're not okay, but go talk to somebody. Do not hold those feelings in. Don't do that. And can I just give just three things? Just three things.
Give it to us.
So what I like to tell people, and this is not my own, but 3 M's. This helps with your overall emotions. All right. Number 1, mindfulness. Are you familiar with mindfulness?
Yes.
Mindfulness, if you're too focused on the past,
Yep.
too focused for I regret this, I regret that. If you're too focused on the future, have anxiety about the future, then you're not present. And the further you get away from the present, that causes your emotions to be all out of whack, right? So mindfulness helps you to get centered, help you to be focused on what's going on right now. And so I practice mindfulness for a few minutes a day. I tell my clients to practice mindfulness, and that's pretty much one of the ways you can do it is just sit still somewhere and focus on your breathing. Slow breaths in through your nose. Slow breaths out through your mouth.
Sure. So that's mindfulness.
That's that mind. That helps you to get centered.
Okay.
Right? And other things will come in your mind, right? I'm speeding up, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then you got meditation. One of the things, if mindfulness helps you deal with the present, then meditation helps you deal with your past. And what I like to do is tell people, just meditate on Matthew 3:17, when God the Father said, "This is my beloved Son in whom I'm well pleased." If you just meditate that God loves you and he's well pleased with you, just think about that.
Wow.
Meditate on that. That helps you with all the trauma from the past. It makes you feel less anxious. Okay. So that's meditation. That's dealing with your past.
Okay.
Now here's the 3rd M. So you got mindfulness, you got meditation, and I like manifestations.
Manifestation.
The manifestation, just I am statements. God created the world just speaking into existence. So I tell my kids, I do it. I tell my clients do it. Just say I am. I am strong. I am healthy. Just those I ams. This is your future. Just say it.
Yes.
You know, and so mindfulness deals with the present, meditation deals with the past, and manifestations that deal with the future. So you do those things, it helps with your mental health. But go see a therapist. It'd be one of the best things you ever did for yourself.
So I have, as the therapist, I got another important question for you. Because I know you're not all cerebral. I know you also believe in physical things.
Absolutely.
Is there a correlation and connection between one's emotional wellness and physical wellness? Are they interchanged? Do they work together? Does one impact the other? How would you respond to that?
Right. So one of the things, if you're dealing with depression, right, one of the best things you could do for depression is get moving.
Wow.
Right. So we have this thing called behavior activation plan, right? And it's for people who are depressed. That's one of the best things. Just get moving. Just get started. Just get out the bed. Do something.
Wow.
So that's one aspect, but also the more you work out them endorphins, it makes you feel better.
Okay.
So that's so important for your overall mental. So it's not just physical, but it affects your. There's so many studies that have been done. You know, just working out the effect it has on your brain.
Great. What about diet or hydration and so forth? Do those impact anything?
Yeah, it's all connected.
Is it?
It's holistic. All that stuff you can eat. I mean, all you gotta do is go on. My wife and I, we went on a raw food diet about 2 weeks ago, just 1 week.
Yeah.
I felt like I was flying the whole week.
Nice.
I mean, I felt like I was just floating on air. It felt so good.
Wow.
And I was like, well, my diet made the difference.
Your diet changed even the emotion.
Absolutely.
The exercise, the activity. We even use the word exercise. We just talk about movement.
Yeah, just movement. Yeah.
Just movement changes the emotion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and especially for depression.
Absolutely.
The ability to
get moving. That's the best thing you could do. Just get up. Just go. Just start moving.
Just start moving.
Just start
moving. Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
You have just helped a number of people who are fighting with depression right now, don't know what to do. The shades are closed, they're in their bed, they don't want to eat, they don't want to drink, they don't want to move.
Yeah.
You didn't tell them they have to go run a marathon.
No.
You just said all you need to do is get moving.
Just get moving. So I have a behavior activation plan that I can send to you.
Okay.
If anybody wants
well,
to
your
check
name's
it out.
on it. We'll put it on our website. Can we do that?
Okay. I gotta see.
Okay.
I don't know if my name is on it.
Okay.
So but
we'll give credit to whoever we need to give credit to.
Okay.
Pastor, I can't celebrate more what you just did and how you concluded this session for us today on emotion. And so we know that you are blessed today from today's presentation on emotions. I know that you've learned some great things here to put those in practice. And we know that God will bless you. Thank you for joining us in this podcast, Deliverance Rooted in Wellness. I'm Anthony Medley, the Health Ministries Director for the Allegheny East Conference. We want you to like us. So please like us and please share us. Tell others about what we're doing on this podcast and make sure that you share this with all your friends, loved ones, associates, colleagues, neighbors, whoever you know that need this podcast, and we know that they'll be blessed for it. Pastor, thank you. If anybody wants to reach you, is there a website or something, or you have that you want to share?
I only can do clients in Virginia.
Yes.
And so you just go to Site Today and just type in Keenan Tyler on Site Today. You got a bunch of therapists there, but I'm right there. Right there on Site Today.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Be blessed.